As most countries' borders remain closed, we are still in Linton Bay, Panama. We can't yet cruise freely around this side of Panama, so we still remain here until we can.
Currently, we have weekend lockdowns where we are not allowed off the boat, so we spend our weekdays exploring the shoreline and underwater world. This episode gives a real feel for how busy we are with all sorts of things, from fun days out to boat maintenance and beach cleanups.
We hope you enjoy it.
26th of June, Shawn's birthday. It has been raining all day long. We were planning on having some people over for some pina coladas and a sunset, but it doesn't look like we're going to get any sunset today, but as you can see. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We'll teach you. Okay boys, what's just happened? Dill, you go first.
A boat was struck by lightning and it exploded.
The boat exploded. Oh, that's amazing.
There was an explosion.
Okay, and then anything else? Nathan, what have you got to add?
I can't say I hate lightning, but I just don't like it.
No, that was quite a trip back. We had to dart back to the yacht on the tender quickly. Of course, the dinghy was full of water as well, so we had to bail that out.
Full speed, 20
Full
knots.
speed through the marina. Because the other predicament we had was it was about 7 o'clock, so Era and Novell would be turning up to potentially come and find people who have exceeded the curfew time. So we did have to get out of there, and we did want to get back to the boat. Everybody wanted dinner.
Nathan made himself a Faraday cage to hide from the lightning.
Okay, we're in our bunker that I just made, surrounded perfectly. To me. And we've got savory, good. We have game number 1, favourite. Game number 2. So, yeah. Hopefully I survive. We've just had some big thunder.
Movie day because it's raining again.
And we did some work this morning in the engine compartment.
And
a little bit of schoolwork.
all of you guys have seen my secret space that has been taken down.
Yeah, your hideout, your lightning hideout.
Did you film it?
Yes,
Faraday cage.
his lightning held his Faraday cage.
We spotted something large drifting in the bay and thought we'd better go and investigate. Found a refrigerator. Okay, here it is. Don't know if you can see it. It looks very light.
It's actually quite light.
Wonder how much kilograms this is for Trashy Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
How are we going to weigh this?
I don't know if I'd want to eat one of those. So we've just had a big houndfish launch out by the side of the boat here. It's a shame we weren't recording at the time, and he zooted off down there to the end of the island. We're still busy towing the fridge, going super slow, and we've got quite a way to go. We've got to go all the way into the anchorage there. In the distance you might be able to see the little turquoise building, and that's where we're heading. So there's the little fridge which was floating ever so nicely through the anchorage and then out to sea. But imagine hitting that at night, guys, in your boat sailing at 10 knots of boat speed. Probably wouldn't do too much damage to the boat, but you know, there are other things out there floating out at sea, like large logs and gas cylinders and so forth, and those can really do damage to your boat if you hit them at speed.
I'm in a fridge.
That's quite a cool raft you've got, excuse the pun. Dill, I bet you nobody has ever gone behind a dinghy in a fridge.
A rusted one as well.
Right, we finally have our wakeboard, our boat toy. Okay, you hold it there, Nathan.
I'm holding it there. There's this rope.
Yeah. Well done.
We had fun making our adventure school series about mangroves when we spotted a sloth.
Oh, for goodness sake. Do I have to move?
Being a catamaran, we can't ever halyard swing from our boat. So we decided to have a turn on our friend Gerard's boat, and it was so much fun.
Woo! Reverse, Dad, reverse, reverse.
He jumps and you just bail into the water, Dill. Okay? Dill?
Visiting the monkeys is always nerve-wracking. They can be very nasty.
Dad, no. Dad, I'm sorry, that's... No.
Oh, you look quite menacing, eh?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dylan.
My favourite colour key.
How old are you today?
13.
Wow.
Teenager on board.
Soon to get a dating app.
Yes. On Dylan's birthday, he got to plan our activities for the whole day. On the agenda was snorkelling, spearfishing, pizza party and wakeboarding. It was lots of fun.
Going up. There we go.
Wait, I want to touch it. That should move. No, it's really cool. Everybody! 3, 2,
Okay, without reaching the face of the other one.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, Dylan and Nathan have just gone off to Charlie's boat down there, who's a keen surfer. Boat is laden with boards, and Dylan spent his birthday money and has just gone and negotiated his own deal on a board. So let's see how he's done. Looks happy. Oh, that looks cool, guys. That's the one we looked at, isn't it? Wow, look at that, eh?
And I got fins.
He put different ones on for you, did he?
No, I got the carbon one.
Oh, he gave them to you. Oh, wow.
And a brand new leash.
And we got webbed fingers and a brand new leash.
Jeez,
All for 100.
that's great.
And he said here, this will hold up for a bit.
Yeah,
But he says tomorrow or the next day he's fixing one of his boards.
yeah,
And he'll fix mine as well.
awesome. That's
But he says
fantastic.
this will hold up
Yeah, that's great.
really well.
Yeah.
He said he's done that well.
Chinky mil times.
So literally with everything. I was expecting something to be taken off or something, but instead
Wow.
it's extras.
That is so cool, hey?
And on its brand spanking new surfboard. Yes. 1, 2, volley! Woohoo! Woo-hoo. Oh my god, I'm his biggest fan.
So because our water maker is giving us trouble, we're now resorting to filling up our water containers ashore and bringing the water back to the boat here, which Nathan then pours into the main tanks. Obviously this water isn't 100% clean, but we've got a filtration system inside and we've got a UV light system as well, so it makes it drinkable. Put it this way, we've been drinking it for some time now and we're all feeling fine. So this is Nathan's job on the boat, is to top up the holding tank as soon as we get back. And he's getting really good at it as well. I'm sorry, it's a mess again. But the water maker's playing up, so I've had to take Nathan's bed apart because that's the water maker is actually located under his bed, and we're going to have a look and see if we can get it working again. It keeps on getting a system blocked error.
So that noise is the water maker running. Obviously having the mattresses and things on top here dulls the noise a bit. But that's one thing, I'm not sure what it's like in a monohull. Is it the same in a monohull where you have to take the beds apart on a regular basis?
Depends where they put the water maker. I mean, these water makers can actually be installed anywhere on a boat. Now, I've seen them in engine rooms, on the catamarans, in lockers in the front of the boat, and obviously under beds as well. So I guess in a monohull it's the same, but it can be anywhere.
Where would you, if we had the chance to install one on Mokara, where do you think the easiest place would be?
The easiest place is probably an engine compartment, but it's probably not the best place, right? Because if it goes wrong like this one's gone wrong, and you're in heavy seas for a week, or just rough seas, you don't really want to open up the back of the boat and the engine compartment and start working in there and getting salt water all over the engine and the risk of getting a good old wave in the back. And the same applies to the front of the boat. If you put it in one of the front lockers, you're going to have the right sea conditions before you actually want to open up the front locker and start working in there. So this is under a bed, it makes a noise. Nathan's used to it, but I think it's actually quite a good location because we can work on this no matter what the weather.
And no, it hasn't made those water bubbles. I know it might look like it, but we keep all our water in one place. I suppose all the water makers are different sizes as well, so ours is quite a small one.
Yeah, this is a Schenker Smart 30, so it's making 30 litres an hour of water.
So not very much.
It's probably one of the smallest water makers, but it's a 12 volt water maker, which basically means on a sunny day you just run it off the solar power and the batteries.
The problem is now, being in Panama in the rainy season, which wasn't our plan, we were supposed to always be in sunny places, but we're finding that to run the 12 volt water maker is not possible on the batteries because there's not enough sun. So today, not sure if you can see, it's quite a cloudy day again. So, right, so there she is.
Move that away. Just push the screw out and you can see it a bit better. Watch your legs there. And that's the water maker in action.
It's actually working.
It's actually working at the moment, which is quite, it's good and it's bad because we've got somebody coming over to have a look at it. And now it's decided to work. But I think what I'm going to do is I've replaced, it's got 3 filters on this system. It's got a carbon filter, it's got a 5 micron filter, and then it's got a first filter which is like a mesh filter which catches anything big like seaweed as it comes through the sea cock. So those have all been replaced. So there's something else happening here in one of the pipes, and I'd be surprised if anything got through all those filters into the actual pipe work. But you never know. It's a boat, and it's always giving us little projects. So let me just show you one other thing. This is the actual, that's the white unit over there is the filter, and in the back is the pump unit itself.
What's this pipe going into the bottle there? Is that actually giving off water?
No, that's if you want to just check for a block on this system. I think that's the right term to
So that's
use.
going to spray out water.
Yeah, you'd open up that valve and it will just spray out some water.
And in the background there is our air conditioning, but we've loved the air conditioning in this humid time in Panama. It's been a godsend, but as you can see it takes up a lot of storage. That is one unit in one cabin, so every cabin's got one. But, you know, as you can see, we haven't put too much in this cabin, so we're not lacking on the storage. she works for long? Oh, more water maker.
Ah, right. So this is where we store all our water down here. We've got two 300-litre water tanks down there, and the water maker actually pumps straight into those tanks. There's a little blue pipe that comes in from the back right hand corner over there, straight out of the water maker, feeds across the top there and drops down into that tank. And we can hear it trickling in quite slowly. At 30 litres an hour, there's quite a slow trickle. But we at least know that it's working.
How many litres are we again?
We're 600 litres.
So that's 300 each.
300 each. Yeah.
And so far, when we filled up the other day, it was 2 weeks. Hey? We could get away with 2 weeks, so 1 tank a week.
Yeah, 1 tank a week.
But that was being very conservative with the water.
Well, I was going to say, it wasn't, I mean, we could be even more conservative, I think, if we wanted to.
Yeah, well, the boys shower very conservatively.
Very conservatively. Yeah.
And I didn't put any washing on or anything like that. So 300 litres a week,
Yeah,
I think is,
300 litres.
as a family, only just manageable.
So it's showing us system blocked. It's a real shame, but we're going to have to start just taking all the pipework apart and having a look to see if we can find the problem.
Off to the marina to fill up the water tanks. We are paddling through the mangroves to get some pizza, and Dill is determined in the heat to make it all the way there as we take the easy ride on the dinghy. Give us a smile, Dill.
This is Penn Marina. The pizza truck hadn't arrived just yet, but it was still a great place to hang out and listen to the jungle noises.
Wave, Nathan. You're on your own little fairground ride there. Whoa, don't tip the boat. I went with friends to do some grocery shopping in Sabonitas, which is on the outskirts of Cologne. On the way there, we went past some great views, including the Portobello castle. Its location on a rocky hill guarding the mouth of the river was of key importance, as it was the route the Spanish used to transport more than half their commodities from the colonies. Shortly after the first construction, the castle was attacked and burnt to the ground by Englishman Sir Francis Drake. The castle was rebuilt several times in the 17th and 18th century. We also passed many rural villages. It was a real eye-opener as to why the islands and ocean is so full of trash. There was waste everywhere. They obviously don't have any sort of waste collection in these villages, so the trash is all piled up on the sides of the streets. When it rains, this rubbish gets washed down into the rivers and in turn into the sea. Going, Nathan? So we've been invited to a South African braai, which is a barbecue to all of those that aren't South African. There's a South African guy who's living here in Panama doing some development work, and he's invited us to his house to have a South African braai.
And if you are South African, subscribe, you're amazing.
Good idea.
And Dylan is planning on wake skating.
This is Richard's house on the water's edge with a great view of the bay.
It's the way to do it, out of a special wine glass for some reason.
Well, then I
It
guess
tastes better, I think.
Then I guess I can have a wine. Then I guess I
It won't taste the same. Coke's better in a tumbler.
There we go.
Bon
There's
appetit.
Axel, bon appetit.
Cheers, thank you.
Richard, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you so much.
And the sun is going down. It's been a rainy old day, and the boys are now busy working on a project. They were given a kite surfing board by a friend here on the beach that he found on the rubbish, admittedly, and the boys are busy working on trying to get that fixed up so that they can use it again and tow it behind the dinghy. So let's have a look at what they're doing. Wow guys, that's actually coming up quite well. Eh?
Yeah. Can you help?
I love that the boys are recycling this board rather than just wanting a new one. It shows them that by placing things in the bin doesn't mean this
Okay, put it
item
down.
magically disappears. It ends up somewhere. Sometimes in good places, like this board has done, where people give it a new lease of life by upcycling it,
Okay.
or in bad places like the fridge in the sea. Time for some exploring, so we went with some friends around the mainland to try and find a nice secluded beach to play on. Driftwood Beach. It's a windward beach, hence we've come here for the waves and the surfing. See the boys surfing away. We've had to anchor the dinghies out beyond the surf. And now we're just exploring. There's literally nothing here. It's just a beach and jungle. And driftwood. And I suppose if we need anything, no doubt we'll be able to find it here on this beach. A few crocs and flip-flops, jerry cans. So I'm guessing that this is a little stream that when it rains up in the hills, all the water comes gushing down here. As I can see, it's got a little inlet down all the way up here. As you can see, it goes all the way up into the mountains there. But I suppose when it does rain, which is why when we're at anchor, we have all the mess and the plastic that comes past us, because as you can see, as this water rushes down here, it's just going to take all of this with it, straight into the sea.
When we see beautiful remote beaches like this, we feel helpless. We would need so many unavailable resources to clean this beach up, and our worry would be that once we cleaned it up, it would all just end up here again.
We're not sure what the answer is, but all I know is that we're getting to more and more remote places, and our human footprint seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. We have to do something.
Take a look, there's just a ton of plastic floating around here, and this is something we're seeing everywhere. So we've been working away at cleaning up some of these beaches, but we actually really need some more help to achieve our goal. It's getting rid of this rubbish is one of the biggest problems. So we're trying to raise funds to get assistance with getting this rubbish collected once we've picked it up and delivered it to the shoreline. The idea is to get it collected by a plastics recycling company in Panama and get them to take it away, and that way we can make sure that it's actually processed correctly and recycled properly and doesn't just end up on a waste dump like we've seen along the roadsides. So if we can get some help to achieve this, preferably by donations, we want to buy bags to pack all the stuff into. We want to engage with the local communities and get them to come and help us and reward them at the same time. It might be rewarding the kids with ice creams or the families with food hampers for helping us do this. And they can then see the positive results and how it works as a team to clean these beaches up and create a better environment for them.
We need a bigger community. We need resources. We need plastic production to stop, or we will literally be swimming in it.
There are two ways to contribute. If you'd like to make a small regular donation, head over to our Patreon page. There you will see an option to clean a Panama beach. Or you could buy one of our specially designed I Help Clean a Beach in Panama t-shirts. All proceeds will go towards helping us buy bags, reward the locals, or pay for the collection and recycling of the trash.